Now, for millions of Americans, the 4th of November was a fairly normal Saturday. That is, of course, unless you spent any time in 4chan or alt-right Twitter or watching Fox News. On Saturday, Fox News apparently ran a segment and posted an article about a supposed upcoming Antifa apocalypse. Apocalypse, guys. That is apparently supposed to happen on the 4th. Now, did it happen? No. But I'll get into that. So let's dive into the world of crazy, right? So now the rumor started with a video posted in September that warned viewers about an upcoming civil war. You know how these far-right guys are like, oh, civil war's coming. They're gonna take over and they're gonna kill us all. Blah. Right? That was one of those things. Now this one was posted by somebody I've never heard of. I'm not really going to give him any sort of publicity here, but basically he runs a website full of Nazi-themed donkeys. Okay, man. Nazi donkeys, whatever, dude. Now, he claimed in this video that this upcoming civil war was going to be launched on November 4th, started by Antifa. So here comes Antifa with a civil war. That is both comical and ridiculous. So, again, going back to the Nazi donkeys. So stupid. I know they're out there like, no, you don't understand. The Democrats are the real fascists. Look, man, I'm pretty sure fascist ideology is identified as being part of the very, very far right. Now, look, a lot of Republicans, I've said it before, they're authoritarians, right? They trust institutions like the church, certain pundits and politicians without any sort of questioning, just because they're in a position of authority. Well, obviously, you don't get into a position of authority unless what you're saying is 100% true. That's why I trust everything that Rush Limbaugh says. Again, that's super ridiculous. You should question Rush Limbaugh, definitely question Rush Limbaugh, but you should question me as well. Okay, question me, fact check me, make sure that I'm reporting the right thing, you know, that kind of thing. Just because I'm supposedly an authority, which I don't even consider myself as, doesn't mean that people should trust me. But again, Republicans, they look to these pundits as authority figures and go, he's right. And I guess part of that is, of course, because they say the exact things that they want to hear. So that's part of that. But anyway, okay. That said, the majority of right-wingers, they're not fascist. That's obvious. There's a lot of people that just don't like to think for themselves, right? Which is why, of course, a lot of them buy the garbage about trickle-down and about, of course, the garbage about Democrats. But anyway, you're probably wondering, where in the world did they actually get this idea of a civil war being launched by Antifa? That seems, again, super, super weird, right? Because, again, they're claiming that the left is actually fascist, yet, you know, Antifa is literally squishing the two words anti and fascist all into one word together. And they show up wherever fascists actually show up and protest against that. Well, it turns out, like I said, they heard about a protest planned for November 4th from a group called Refuse Fascism. Again, that's super obvious. The group's like, we don't like fascism. You don't like fascism? How dare you, you fascists? I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, the group talked to BuzzFeed News about the protest and said, hey, you know, this protest, it's not a civil war. It's not an attack. No, what this is nonviolence, okay? In fact, there's no Antifa group had actually called for violence during the November 4th protests. Still, according to somebody from Refuse Fascism who spoke to BuzzFeed, they said, what they're saying is completely false. They're blatant lies, and they're creating and intending to intimidate people who want to stand up to the Trump-Pence regime. It's concerning that these lies are being spread and that they're unleashing threats. So there's your context. I want to show you some of the stuff that's been printed in right-wing media about this November 4th protest. You got to check these out. Gateway Pundit. November 4th, millions of Antifa super soldiers will behead all white parents. And look, they've got a tweet there. Look, it's a tweet. It's a tweet saying, oh, can't wait for November 4th when millions of Antifa super soldiers will behead all white parents and small business owners in town square. Okay, so that's ridiculous. All right. And number one, that was actually a joke. And of course, in that image, you'll see like, oh, no, this leftist says it was just a funny joke. No, what it was is that we were mocking them. And by the way, I mean, everybody on the left that's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's actually not true. It's obvious that he was taking the piss out of you. Okay? Because that's what their projection is. It's amazing. I've got more. Here's Fox News. Antifa apocalypse. Anarchist groups plan to overthrow Trump's regime. Starts Saturday. Another Fox News. Antifa plans to overthrow president. Oh, wow. That would seem to be something that's super, super important that you wouldn't want to happen. It's too bad that there's literally no proof. There's nothing. Look, okay. So here's the thing, right? These groups on the right, they've got to have a boogeyman. They've got to have someone to fear. First, it was a government. So now that they're in charge, now that Trump's in charge, now that the Republicans in charge, they can't use that anymore because they got their guy. So now it's, of course, the communists. Those are a great go-to. The Muslims, got to be afraid of the Muslims. Oh, it's the deep state. It's the deep state. Got to be afraid of the deep state. And now it's Antifa. Just be afraid of everything. That way, we can rob you. We can pick your pocket while you're too afraid of the communists and Antifa coming after you. All right, man. Again, conservatives, they wanted everybody to be afraid. And, hey, man, they're doing a pretty good job of it. Now, later on, of course, what's funny is that this did not happen on November 4th. Saturday, there was no government takeover, no overthrow of Donald Trump. So you would think that, okay, man, look, anybody who made these false claims, they've got to be like, oh, sorry, dog, we were wrong, we had bad information. No, let me show you the response from these some of these people on the right about this so-called attempt to overthrow Trump. So has Antifa overthrown the fascist Trump-Pence regime yet, or did they just have another hissy fit and go home having achieved nothing? That's weird. So this group's like, see? What happened is these Antifa people, they're supposed to come take over the government. But since we conservatives, we stood strong, well, that's why they failed. That's why there was no government takeover. Are you kidding me? No, the reason there was no government takeover is because there never was going to be a government takeover. See, they made this up, and then they're like, you know what? We're taking credit for stopping something that was never going to happen. It's amazing. These people, holy shit. Now, look, guys, there's no low that they will reach, okay, in order to cover for the disaster that is Donald Trump. And from the fact that most Americans don't agree with their ideology. They despise the alt-right. They despise neo-Nazis and white supremacists. So they got to make things up. And of course, here's a great boogeyman, Antifa. And then, of course, as you saw, here's good old Fox News buying into the hype and carrying water for these people. They are state TV. They're trying to sell people on these blatantly and patently false bullshit conspiracy theories. Look, man, fake news exists. It just happens the majority of it seems to be on the conservative side. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.